What's up, party people? It's your girl, Shaun Sunflower, coming to you guys with another DIY. So this is a personalized flower wall frame. I actually saw the video for it a few years ago and I decided to try it myself. So stay tuned and I'll show you how it's done. So the basis for this project is going to be a picture frame that I got from IKEA, 24 by 35 and 3/4. I had to get multiple pieces of styrofoam because I couldn't find one giant piece. So I bought a few pieces and I kind of fit them all together. And now what I'm doing is I'm using an extra piece of regular foam board to measure out the styrofoam so that it'll actually fit into the frame. Better to have too much than not enough. But what I did was I just used an X-Acto knife to cut off the excess and set it to the side. Now that I have the pieces measured to the size that they need to be to fit inside of the frame, I'm just taking some glue and gluing them together. As you can see, the edges aren't exact, like the edges aren't perfect, but that's okay, because by the time we put all the flowers and everything on it, you're not even going to be able to tell. It's going to look perfect, so I ain't even stressed about it. So I glued all the boards together into one giant piece of styrofoam, and then I started to pull the flowers apart. The majority of these flowers I got from the dollar store. I did go to Walmart to get some bigger ones, but you do not have to spend a whole bunch of money on these flowers. Now we're going to apply the flowers to the board. I'm using a wet paper towel, a crochet hook, to poke the holes into the board where the flowers are gonna go. And I'm using some Gorilla Glue for its intended purpose.
My hair, it don't move. You hear what I'm telling you? It don't move.
This process is fairly simple. I'm just using the crochet hook to poke holes into the styrofoam. You don't want to poke all the way through the board, otherwise you're gonna have glue seeping out the other side. Maybe go about halfway in. And you want to use something smaller to poke holes in the board because your flower stems aren't going to stay inside the board no matter how much glue you use if you make the holes too big. And then before I actually put the flowers into the board, I'm wiping them with the wet paper towel because you're supposed to dampen your surface when you use Gorilla Glue. So I'm just using the wet paper towel to rub on the back of the flower to make sure that it actually adheres to the board. Finished with the flower portion of the board, and I love how it looks. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't want to give it away because it matches the decor of my craft room anyway. But I also took some flowers and I put them along the edge of the board just to give it a continuous look. And what I did was I went through and I found spots that were kind of exposed and open, and I played with the flowers a little bit, or even there's some parts where I stuck like little teeny flowers in to kind of fill in the holes, so that way you don't really see any of the styrofoam. Okay, so here's the template in the font that they asked for. Don't mind the edge, it got ate up by my little the wheel on my living room table. But this is the baby's name. Her name is Aaliyah. So I picked it up, I put it on a piece of what's this? This is blueprint paper, y'all. So if you're ever printing something out from Office Max or Office Depot and you just need it as a quick little template, use blueprint, because they can print it on a large piece of paper. And it was only, I had to get it on a bigger sheet of paper. So this one I think was like $3 and some change. But save yourself some money. You do not have to print it on the poster. Because I took the template, I cut it out. Well, I'm not gonna lift that part up, but I cut it out from the blueprint paper, and now I'm just gonna go around it with an X-Acto knife and actually pull out the hard part of the name. Okay, so I have the name all cut out. There were some parts where it broke. It broke right here and it broke right there, but I just hot glued those pieces together, and then I hot glued the dot on top of the eye, because once I actually set it onto the flower bed, I just didn't want this random eye hanging out somewhere. But they said that they wanted it to be covered in glitter. Before I cover it in glitter, I'm going to spray paint it gold. They want the glitter to be gold as well, because I want to hide these edges here. You gotta hide them edges, honey. When them edges look bad, you gotta hide them, baby. And I'm gonna hide the edges with the gold spray paint.
We are gonna be laying edges to death.
I didn't have enough spray paint, but thankfully I have more craft supplies, so I'm using some Mod Podge, which I cannot do with one hand, and I'm adding some Mod Podge to the name, and then I'm just gonna cover it in the glitter. I put down some sheets of paper because I need to conserve this glitter. Okay, so once it falls, when I spread it out on here and it falls on the paper, I'm gonna take another sheet of paper and put it right back on top, because I can't afford to be wasting no glitter. Oh my gosh, look at it, it's all coming together. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take the name, I'm gonna run some fishing line around this letter, and then I'm actually gonna have to punch a hole into the H, and then I'm going to thread it through the back of the board so it actually stay up. Okay, so this is the hard part. So I have my string that you probably can't see in the, I have the string hanging from the letters. Now I just have to figure out how to make this center in the board, so that way I can thread the string through.
I'm tired, boss.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick this spot right here. It's hard because everywhere there is a flower, so you just have to like feel around the flowers and pick a spot to hang it up through. Okay, so I see a spot in between these two flowers right here that I'm gonna push this through. I'm gonna push it all the way through to the back. Make sure it's in there good. And then put the string through and pray to God it makes it through to the other side. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the back of this or not, but I used a piece of tape, to thread this through the back side. See a little piece of tape at the end with the string? And now I'm just gonna use a bigger piece of tape to tape this down to hold it in place. Don't tell nobody the tape on the back don't match. That ain't their business. And this is actually gonna hold, this is actually going to hold the string in place. Matter of fact, let me double it back to make sure it really holds. Boom. So I'm not taking the plastic piece off because that's gonna serve as the flat surface that I can actually adhere the styrofoam to. I'm taking the frame and I'm rubbing it down with a wet paper towel so that once I glue the back of the styrofoam, it'll adhere. I'm trying to make sure that I get it pretty damp enough. And then I have the Gorilla Glue and I glued it all on the back of the board. I made sure I hit the corners really good. And I'm being pretty liberal with the glue. And I have that glove on because I'm actually gonna use my hand to spread the glue out to make sure it's even. Baby, I had to put my ring light on this bad boy because I need y'all to get into this. Do y'all see? Hold on, let me hold the light so y'all can see what's going on. Your girl is too talented, bruh. Who? I don't even know where all of this talent came from, dog. I just thank God for it. You feel me? I just thank God for it all. I love this. I really do not want to give this away. I mean, but look, they already paid the coins. I'm gonna give it to them. I'm just saying, there may be one that says Shaun coming up in the future. Tell me that's not dope. Tell me that's not dope. Okay, so I had to bring this outside on my patio, y'all, so I can get some good lighting on it because in my craft room, it was like so shadowy, the shadowy parts.
What about that shadowy place?
Okay, and here it is hanging up in the baby's nursery. One thing I did notice is that I pulled the name a little bit too tight, so it kind of has a curve to it. That wasn't intentional, but I still think it looks pretty decent. And here is another one that I made for one of my friends who is an esthetician. She has a business called 3 Blinks Lashes. I know you probably can't see it very well because of the lighting when I was trying to take the picture and the video of it. But she wanted hers with gray and pink and yellow. It took forever to find the gray flowers, but I love how it came out.